As a Pan-African, I have taken my time to think about what it will take to unite Africa. And I have come to realize that uniting Africa is going to be a very hard task that requires dedication, passion, and much sacrifice in order to achieve our African unity, our dream to have an African unity. I know it's not going to be easy, but it is achievable. It is a complex task because of our diverse cultures, languages, and the geopolitical complexities of our continent. But if we all take a bold steps, we can actually have a unified Africa and build a progressive continent that we'll be very proud of. And to achieve this, we have to encourage the idea of a shared African identity and foster a sense of a unity among African nations. That is to promote Pan Africanism. Another way to achieve this is to establish and promote regional economic communities, such as the African Union, which oversees the affairs of things going on in Africa, and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the East African communities to promote economic integration, facilitate trade, and encourage collaboration between African countries. This will really help to bring development and unity among Africa in a very short time. Is to encourage economic integration among African nations. Another way to invest, another way to have a united Africa is to invest in infrastructure by all the African nations, using African Union as the you know the middleman here to ensure that this infrastructure is spread across the communities, across the nations of Africa. We have to build infrastructures such as roads, railways, and telecommunications networks, to facilitate the movement of people, goods, and services across borders, thereby promoting economic development and regional integration. Another way is to promote peace and stability. If you look at our society, you know that we have a lot of problem in our political space and even in our communities. So we have to, address conflicts and promote peace and stability within and between African nations by encouraging diplomatic solutions, fostering good governance, and supporting democratic institutions. These democratic institutions must be, corrupt free. If possible, we engage the military into those institutions to ensure that the corruption or the corrupt practices are reduced in those institutions. Another way to achieve a united Africa and a progressive Africa of our dream is to encourage a cultural exchange and education, because every community you enter has something unique that they have that they can transfer to other people. So we have to encourage cultural integration, education within our diverse communities. Like we have to promote cultural exchange programs, educational exchanges, and the learning of multiple African languages to foster a sense of interconnectedness and understanding among African citizens. You know, we have to promote our language, promote our, what we have inherited from our parents and not from our ancestors. The most spoken language in Africa, for example, is Swahili. This should be promoted. Every region in Africa, every regions in Africa will be able to speak Swahili. It will help us to be more united, and will also like tackle the issues we think that is affecting us more than those things that are not affecting us, and also promote things we think that unite us more than things that are dividing us. It will really help us a lot. We must have a united Africa of our dream. It may take time, but it is achievable. It is possible. Why? To have a good and a progressive African nation, we have to also implement a joint development projects in various sectors such as agriculture, education, healthcare, and technology, to foster collaboration and development across the continent. If possible, we will exchange mineral resources with technology. This is very important because if we discover that, for example, China is interested in our in our mineral resources, so we tell them, okay, for us to sell to you, you have to exchange these mineral resources with technology. This will help to bring a massive technology in Africa, and before you know it, in 5-10 years to come, Africa will be doing great. Yes, and we also encourage collaboration on issues of mutual interest, such as combating climate change, addressing health crisis, and managing natural resources in our societies or in our communities. And another thing is to encourage African leaders to prioritize the interests of the continent as a whole, fostering a spirit of cooperation and solidarity, and setting a strong example of regional cooperation and integration. This is very, very important. Yes, sir. And we have to also engage and empower the youth through educational and leadership programs to ensure that the future generation is actively involved in shaping the future of the continent. The government and the people will take it upon themselves, to be sharing information and ideas through media and communication and technology, and again allowing African countries to learn from one another and build a sense of shared identity and purpose. These things will really help us to have a united and progressive Africa. It may take a long time, but if we put our mind on it, we can even achieve this within 10 to 20 years. Before you know it, people will be very proud of the continent, and they will be very happy with the leaders they have in the continent, and not all these corrupt, money monger, and evil politicians that see politics as just a political power.